Let's go learn. We are starting. Everyone along So before I begin, quick question about because I learned this already before, so I see where you're rolling. Placemats, these positions, even if you're okay, figure it.
How are you?
I have thanks.
Okay, everybody sign. We are middle of the Remo. Peites Sif Olive. Another. I just want to reiterate again, because people ask me this, and this is a question that comes up all the time. Eating, after meat, we wait 6 hours to eat mochiks. Okay? Peites. Peites olive. Peites olive. Okay, so we learned last week this halacha that we eat. You have fleishiks, you have to wait 6 hours to eat melchiks. The Remo brings down, there's a shit in the Rishonim, that you don't have to wait 6 hours, a next meal. So we got a little bit off track. What does next meal mean? So some learn that has to be, not that you planned it this way. I plan to eat fleishiks. I'm going to bench, wait, and eat mochi. It really happened this way. You ate your fleishiks, you benched, and then you turn out, you're still hungry, so you want to eat mochiks. That was that opinion. But the getchille, I know I'm going to eat mochiks, and well, here's fleishiks, and then I want to eat mochiks. That. But the Remo brings down, some do that. And the Goon argues, and that's what we do, and many argue. But if there's a need, I explained this last week, I began explaining this, if there's a need, I heard this often from nursing mothers who like sometimes they're all pregnant, who are very, they don't eat much, and they have a continuous appetite, and there's a tzorech. I mean, the Chazal say, just for the record, the Chazal say a pregnant woman and a nursing woman are considered sick. I don't know Chabad, but many places, nursing woman gave birth. If she's nursing, she doesn't fast any of the Tanesim besides Tisha B'Av. And Yom Kippur, obviously, but I'm saying under the Bond so she considered, a woman is nursing, considered sick. There are hold that even she doesn't nurse, she just the first 2 years after birth. Al Kapana, this happens. I've heard this a lot from women, that when they nurse, they have a hard time, so there's a tzorech. But there is no tzorech, there is no heter, because you want a milky ice cream. I have this shallow all the time.
So even for a pregnant woman?
Yeah. If it's a milky ice cream, I want a milky ice cream. I don't know. It's got to be, she's hungry and she wants to eat milchiks, and that just nash, because I have the shallow from Motzei Shabbos. People call me. There's a show that recently, 2-3 weeks ago, someone, a teenage girl, called me. All I mean, is even an ice cream also to eat. I mean, I really want an ice cream, many years we wait 6 hours. And only there's a tzorech. Now, young children, if a child, 2-3 years old, a child needs a bottle, drinks a lot, you don't have to wait anything. Once the child...
A pregnant woman, you said, is like a sick person.
Yeah.
That doesn't have to wait to eat milk after meat.
A meal.
Yeah, but not ice cream.
Ah.
Yeah, I have an urge. I mean, not an urge. Craving. No, that's the word. Craving. You know, I have a craving for ice cream.
So if the pregnant
And it has to be.
woman is hungry,
Yeah.
she had eaten meat, but now the only thing left is
Not left either.
cheese.
Yes,
She
that
can
is
eat
a tzorich. Yes, once is a tzorich. I don't have to know the details why, what the hang up is, but not nash. She's hungry. She needs to eat. She wants to eat.
What if it's a woman that gains a large percentage of her calorie intake during pregnancy from ice cream? There are women like that, I've heard.
Does the fact that she's hungry have to do with the digestive system?
I have no idea. I have no idea. I think what it says, women who are pregnant and nursing are always hungry. I see that. I've see this all the time.
Are there any other people who hold that 6 hours changes? I mean, saying there's an issue about milk to meat, but meat to milk, is that standard across Ashkenazim, Sephardim?
The Ramur, last week we said, there's a shitta that holds that you make. The Ramur shitta. And that shitta with Soimechan and Mukim Tzorich. I'm not sure the Svardim could be Soimech and that Kula.
Someone's mentioning, I think, Holland last week?
Yeah, that's something else. There are people where 3 hours, we don't know where 3 hours comes, and it's either, not 6 hours, and somehow 1 hour, the Yekis followed the Ramur. Not only, entire Ashkenaz followed the Ramur. The times of the Ramur, it slowly became turned over, because the Ramur says that we should follow the Rambam Shitter over the Shiurim hold that way. And let me just say a historical fact. The historical fact was till, I think, at the times of the Alter Rebbe still, the many people were noig, the Ashkenazim, wait just an hour after Fleishiks and eat milchiks. That was a minig Ramud. The Ramud says it's not a good idea, and the Shach says it's not a good idea. Things, as we know, history changed. So things changed. People go to yeshiva, it changed, and everyone's 6. The last 200 years, everyone's 6. Yes? I didn't understand.
Well, she had a
She
meal.
has a dessert and she eats milk.
Now she had milk because she had ice cream.
She has ice cream for dessert.
The shower is benching a factor at all?
Yes, we spoke last week. Last week said that you have to bench. You have to bench. Yes. That is over. You have to bench. Yeah. And let me just reiterate. So that what happened was history changed. I mean, people changed. Now the question is, we soimech on the kula when there's a need. That's our word. But still, I think I said it over last week.
No one's going to look at Chila.
Yeah, let me tell you a story. In our neighborhood, there was a guy, a Yakish guy. One time I met him I was in Israel. I met him at a wedding, and he says, Rabbi, I'm going home, and I'm going to have a good coffee after the wedding. I says, why? Because I'm a Yekker. My parents are Yekkers, Germans, and they wait 1 hour. By the time I get home, I'll have a good coffee. I told him that it's not true. There's no one here in the town. There's no the minig here. You're not allowed to change the minig. The minig here, everyone does it. But I'm a Yekker. Yekker stays Yekker. He's a Yekker. Kept insisting he's a Yekker.
Did he come on time for davening?
Yeah, the Yekkers usually do. He's a Yekker. So I said to him, you know what, Rabbi Schwab was still alive. I'll make a deal with you. You call Rabbi Schwab and tell me over what he says. He calls Rabbi Schwab. He was the Rav then in Washington Heights. And he asks him, do you people have a separate German minyan? Do you have a separate mikveh, ladies mikveh? Do you have a separate shrita? He says, no. Then you're not allowed to do that. He just couldn't for weeks. Yeah. He just, not because of the lifestyle, because he's a yakka, you know what I mean? But the truth is, not only this halacha, in many halachas is that way. Many people don't know. Just because his parents have a tradition, you live in a community, no one does that, you're not allowed to be mekel. You're living here, you want to be machma something, you'll be machma. But even Germans who don't live in a community with Germans, they are not allowed to be mekel.
And who's 3 hours?
We don't know where 3 hours comes. I see the Sefer brings down, he does the mirror now.
That applies, like you just said, if they had a shita and mikveh, etc.,
You're right. If a guy lives in this community and he doesn't, there's no 3 hours, there's no 1 hour.
Was the Yekas that were machmir.
A lot of people in Flatbush, I personally know, keep 3 hours. A lot of people.
They have no permission to do that. So a lot of people speak Lashon Hara too. You know,
No, the same people that you're trying to.
no, they don't know.
You have to have all those requirements. If you have your own mini, a lot of Yekshim Yanim out there, but after your own street stuff, and there's no.
That's what he said to him.
Young Israel Hancock Park's not called the Yekish Dominion?
No. It's not Yekis, it's just people that are Ashkenaz or people are modern Orthodox. The wives don't want to meet Sneezdik, you know what I mean? Guy told me, I asked the guy, why doesn't he use it on my shul? He says, my shul, you know, you got to be Sneezdik in my shul, he tells me. Anyways, okay. So we're talking about
If they form their own lineage, they could maybe bring that back? Or like once you're already in a town, it's like too late.
It's too late, I think.
What about the question if you could have enough success in having a full meal?
That's a good question. I have to think about it. It's a very good question.
Well, technically, are you milk?
But the thing is, if the Rambam
Yeah.
says, it's like saying if you have to eat chazer because you had because of cooked nefesh,
No.
now you're sick.
No.
The Rambam says you have meat in your mouth. It's
Yeah, but
6
no,
hours,
but yeah,
right?
but
So
the-
you have to eat. Why would you eat ice cream after
No.
it's still in your mouth?
No. The understanding is, let me explain something. The understanding is like this. The Balatoises hold that you don't have to wait 6 hours. They held whenever's the next meal. So we Ashkenaz, the Ashkenaz was many toises. We changed. So the Poskim say we didn't take the change like the Sfardim. The Mechaber doesn't even bring balatoises. The Mechaber holds not sure a Sfardi could be something on the schooler. So we changed to wait 6 hours, but the meaning of changing 6 hours was only when it's regular. If there's a sickness of a children, we never had that mechumra. You understand? Let me explain. Understand what I explained to you? See what he's asking. Yisrael is asking. Wait a minute. If it's also, it's also. So a guy eats chazer. He can now say now. Anyways, I ate chazer. I should drink the chazer fat. It's not that way. The meaning of Ashkenaz was to, at next meal, whatever there was, 1 hour, whatever that was. The Shach says you should change it, and it became changed. But we know for a fact the change took place only on a regular basis. That means healthy basis. When it was sick, we always soymich on the balatoises. You understand? That's why we're going to soon see that the Chorim say you soymich on balatoises, that if you eat, you have to wash your hands, you have to make kniach v'adocha, you have to do a lot of things. We only soymich on when there's a need.
Was it dependent on what the people are doing, or by what is the definition of another meal?
That's what the most Achronim learned. The Ramah, I said last week, there's two shittas. The Ramah himself seems to say that I'm allowed to create another meal, even though I know. But the Achronim say not.
What society does. They say society eats 3 meals a day. It's 6, 12, 6. You know.
I don't understand your question. Let's start again.
In the Gemara, you said it's in between meals. You can't eat, right? So that was
Right, that's where the 6 hours came from. That was standard to wait 6 hours.
Right, it was 6 hours.
So that means that at the times of the Gemara, they didn't have 10 meals. So
They only had twice, right? That doesn't make it. The Cholim say clearly. Things changed in the times of the Shulchan Aruch already about the time of meal. Chazal made it 6 meals. If you hold like the Rambam, it's like the Rabbanan demanded 6 hours.
Yeah, that doesn't two
But the other opinion,
Right. But the taste. But that's according to the Rambam. They demanded. See, that's the nafkamina. The Rambam shitta was Chazal demanded 6 hours. Period. The Balatoises held we didn't want you to eat the same meal. Not the reason that the chewing in the mouth, not the taste, not to have in one meal. So according to Balatoises, if the next meal, if you really are hungry, you'll have to eat malchix.
The whole thing of the time period is midrabanan, right?
Yes.
So if the whole thing of chicken as well is midrabanan, why would that be brought into the 6-hour thing as well?
Because you were not here last week. So I explained last week, we went, when the Chazal came to Bosor, Vecholov, they went extreme. You can't even bring on the table. Come on, what's wrong with having on the table? Oh, but listen, just the other day, one of my daughters decided it was here. She doesn't want to eat flesh. You know, there's always one family member, when there's a big family, always decides to be different. So I'm saying, So Chazal demanded that you can't bring onto the table meat and chicken. And the Minat Torah, it's only if you cook it together. It's about the Rabbanan, you're not allowed to eat it together. I can't even bring it on the table without a heck of chicken with milk, even though it's a 3 Rabbanan. Because chicken, if you cook with milk, is only the Rabbanan. Here, if I eat it together, it's also only the Rabbanan. And here, I can't even bring it onto the table. So Chazal were extremely machmer. Now the Gemara says why? Because the michshel was very, very big. The Gemara says very clearly there were very nichshel and people, the goyim always cook meat and milk. And
like a Chabad house where you're having family people come over, let's say for Shabbos, yeah. So let's say, okay, well Shabbos is bad, but let's say with Shavuos, right? So you're about to serve milk. Is your achrayus to ask the person, did you have flesh from the last?
Well, are you achrayus that he's going to fast Yom Kippur?
No, but you're serving him food.
Yeah, but it doesn't he drive to your place on Yom
He
Shavuos?
has the option to walk, and it's not meaning you're serving him food.
I don't know. You have to ask Chabad Rabbi. I don't know how these things work. I mean, it's not your. To me, it's not your achrayus.
Everything he's sitting at the table.
It's not your achrayus. To me, it doesn't make sense to be achrayus.
Sounds,
You want to make him from. You can't say, "But did you drive here?
No,
Don't drive here."
That's a social thing. I'm talking about halacha.
So Halacha, but
Because you're saying that
I'm not machshel him. It's like trying to be mekad of him, so he's eating. No, I don't think so. I don't think so. Okay. Yeah, she said the age is 9 years old. Once a child reaches 9 years old, you should wait 6 hours. Before that, you don't have to wait. Whenever the next meal, whenever the Chayim bring down, the Gemara compares the Hilchos Yom Kippur. Yom Kippur, you shouldn't make a child fast before 9 years old. So here too, they say before 9 years old, you're on the band your child to wait 6 hours.
Most people do that? Do they just wait?
I don't know what most people do. Yeah, I mean, you just tell them you can't have right away. That's for sure not. But it's not. Let me answer this question. Once a child gil chinuch, which is at least 6, even before that, it depends on the child. I never let him have an ice cream. If they got hungry and they're catchy and they want to eat, so the milk was available, then you could, before the 9 years old, you could make it. It's not like 10 minutes afterwards. I want ice cream. That's usually what the children want. No, that's not that. We're talking about the next meal. You don't have to look at the clock. Is it we ate the late lunch? You know what I mean? And I can imagine Chabad places where they finish davening 2:30, and the time Motzei Shabbos comes, you don't have to wait 6 hours. Okay, you can't go to bed now. You ate chicken at the meal now. Under 9 years old, you don't have to worry about that. Okay. So let's. This is we've finished. Okay. See the Remu ends. This is how the Remu ends. V'yesh medagdikim lahant l'sheshuas. You see the last Remu on Sif Aleph. It's the last line of the Remu. The Remu is the small letters. You see that that's Tzadik Dalet. It's pay test. The Remu is the so v'yesh medagdikim lahamtin sheshuas. 6 hours. Achar achilas Bosor legvina v'chei nuchan lasos. That's what you should do. Nucha means it's worthy to be, and that's how the minig changed by us Ashkenazim. So I always do wonder when a Sfardi asks me this question: can he be mekel when there's a tzorech? I don't like to answer Sfardim. I always send them to Sfardi Shirov because the Mechaber was very machmer, and we Ashkenazim. We just mach in halacha. You have to remember how it works. We are machmer. So whenever we machmer something, when there's a tzorich or mekel, the Sfardim were not machmer. They held the ikar adin. You must wait 6 hours. This many halachas is that way. L'moshel, a person asked me the other day. He's machmer on Yoshon. You know what Yoshon is, So he asked me, his brother-in-law invited him for, and they're not, if they're not, he's not going to eat the. What about the kelim? I told him the meaning was never to be makbid on the kelim. The Yoshon, the kelim. Yeah, so just at home. They're not going to serve anything that has to do with the dough and then, but they cook in the pots. So the kelim is a problem. But I said, the poskim say a person is makbet, they would then have a makbet on the blias kelim. So chumre that some Ashkenazim, but Svardim are very, Svardim held Yoshim was a me'ikar adin.
So for a Sfardi, you said they have to.
Oh yeah, they have to be makbet.
Well, it's only if they're machmer.
Even the Caleb.
Well, the Svardim are not machmer, the Svardim always held. They held me'ikar adin. The from Svardim do not eat only Yoshim. I mean, it's not we are on the defense. Usually at Ashkenazim, we are extremely on the defense. Why we're not machmer? The Shulchan Aruch says you should be machmer. The only reason is they found after the times of Tzemach Tzedek they found the Zura. But you know the real reason was that the Chronim all say and we should be machmer.
When you say we're not talking about Caleb, that's Ashkenazim.
Ashkenazim, but not for Sfardi.
I don't have a problem.
Yes, I don't have a problem. Sure. I don't. That's why I don't like to paskin for Sfardim about these things. Now, I want to say even more. So, you know, this, you know, Chanukah became the big parties. You know that the poskim say Amorah de Gezach. Last week's parsha it says Tveiach Tovech V'Huchein. So Rashi says it was, you know, it became. Yosef said, he didn't tell them he says go shech for the brasa Tveiach Tovech V'Huchein. You take the Tveiach is a ches, V'Huchein together is Chanukah. Do you know that? You take the ches from Tveiach, Vehuchein is the ches, and Vehuchein makes Chanukah. So the El Yerabah brings from a Mordcha. I didn't look up the Mordcha. Says from there's the Mekar that people make meals on Chanukah. I thought always because we Jews like to eat. You know, everything is around food. Was you know, Machta Kiddush, Machta L'chaim. But they because the Shulchan Aruch says there's no Inyan Suda. But people, I noticed a lot of people make parties, and someone asked me, he's going to his aunt, and finally, and this is not a Persian, this is Ashkenazi, and you know, his aunt is not very religious. He doesn't think she's Shomer Shabbos. But I know everything there was going to be kosher. She knows we can look through the shelves, and so I said, but what should I tell you? I don't know how. If you tell me she's not a Shomer Shabbos, you can't trust the Kalim. The Kalim is a problem. If you don't trust her, and you know, just because it is, what should I tell you? You know, it's a serious problem. You know, that's not just a.
There are many Jews in America who are not so Shomer Shabbos, but they always maintain the kosher kitchen.
Yeah, we spoke about it 2 weeks ago. This is a huge problem. Once a person is not a Shomer Shabbos, the Shulchan Aruch says you cannot trust them. And the Persians have this. The Persians have it worse. That, you know, I heard this from another Rabbi Hanyan just spoke to me again. A few other people this way. We have a guy in my neighborhood. He does not eat by his parents because he's from his. My mother's not. My mother, you know, even though she screams, she keeps kosher. I run him. He walks every Friday night here because if he doesn't show up to meal, he's in big trouble, right? Persians. He works he comes to now drives here before Shabbos, you know, and he walks home and eats. He's afraid of his mother's curse, he tells me. Right? That's what the Persian, that's what he told me. But you know, I'm just saying, but it's a really serious problem, yes.
When you say Shomer Shabbos, someone who's not Shomer Shabbos, you don't trust their catering or you don't trust them?
You don't trust the kashrus.
Can you invite them over to your house to cook in your own kitchen?
Well, if you put on the fire. If it depends why they're not a Shomer Shabbos. We spoke about this. Let me explain this again. If the person was raised not from, then it's not Bishalakim. But if the person was raised from and went over the derech, then it's Bishalakim. And we have some, you know, people have asked me this. You have a sister-in-law who decided to fry out and is not from. She can't help you. She can't cook in the kitchen.
Oh, yeah, but the Bishalakim issue is different than I don't trust their country.
Right, that's a different thing. Right, she's cooking with your food at home.
They're cooking in your kitchen now.
Right, but you have to put on the fire.
It's their catering.
You also have to supervise.
No.
You have to supervise while they're cooking your kitchen.
You don't have to. You can walk in and out. You don't have to be on top of them.
What's the issue of the
If a person is not kosher, so you don't trust her, last week or yesterday he ate chaza there. Not kosher meat, Ralph's meat. And now they're cooking in the same pot.
Why, I don't understand why it's mostly the kelim and not...
No, this kid, they bought all the food and they were standing there, everything was kosher. The aunt wanted to make the party this year. I convinced a lot of people to offer to have it catered. And her house, I had someone, I convinced them, tell your grandma that you're coming this year. She was so, every year they have a big fight. Have it catered and bring it to her house. So, it's a problem, yeah?
Yosef and his brothers, did they have the reshut to eat anything that he would cook, not knowing he was Yosef? Or is it just irrelevant before Mount Torah?
Well, that's a good question, though. What was relevant? Because the Gemara says they shachted, and they took out the Gidanosha. Because the Gidanosha, they were told. Shchita were not really told. The Gemara says they told. So we don't know what they did, what they didn't do. What did you say? Yeah, well, the Malach, Avram served the Malach and Fleishiks and Melchiks. What did you say? Well, that's the kasha the Welt says that it's not even a derbanan. So the Welt says in the Santa Teretz. I think I said it over here that the Malachim don't eat; they burn it. So it was burning in the stomachs the meat and milk. That's what the Welt says. So it was cookies. That was the rice. That's what the Medrash says. You know what the Medrash says? That the Malachim came up, Moshe Rabbeinu was in Shemayim, the Malachim says, Tzenu hoitcha l'shemayim, give us the Torah. So Hashem says, Moshe Rabbeinu, answered them. So Moshe Rabbeinu says, weren't you Avram's house and you ate Bosor Vecholov? So the Rebbe asked the kasha, that's only the Rabbanan. That doesn't say in the Torah. And we ate Bosor Vecholov. But it's amazing, Bosor Vecholov saved the day. Because in what it says, Hashem said that they didn't want the Torah to come down. It's one of the reasons why Swiss people eat Bosor B'chol, eat milk, and you know that. It's one of the reasons the Chayim say. Because the Malachim said, don't give him the Torah. Moshe Rabbeinu says, why did you eat Bosor B'chol? So we eat a zeicha for Bosor B'chol to remember that saved the day.
Over the course of the Yom Tov, not like you have to have first a shtickle milk.
Well, the minig was, let me say quickly, the minig was in Klal Yisrael. People don't know this. The minig in Klal Yisrael was, we're going to learn the next Sif. The minig in Klal Yisrael was, the Mugin Avram brings that they ate milchiks, and they ate milchiks, in the same meal they would eat fleishiks. That was the minig 1,000 years. The problem was that the Zohar says not to do it. Zohar says not to do it. So they want to make a separate meal. So then now the question is, maybe how long are you going to wait? And others, the Chassidim held, not just the Chassidim, the Medagdim can held, you have to have ein simcha b'basar. How could you eat a milchig meal? Yeah, so there was different minhagim. That's why, but the original minig was they would eat milchigs, and they would rinse them out, wash their hands, and they eat fleishiks. That's the original minig.
To maintain that today, you just over Shavuos need to have one milchig.
We don't know. We're not really.
They wouldn't even bench to be food, you're saying?
They wouldn't. That's the minig was they didn't bench.
Because didn't we mention earlier that...
They should. That's why the Chayim says it's not a good minig, and we changed it. That we should bench, and so people bench, and that also is not so like at Chila, because you're not like at Chila supposed to start milchiks to Svanamai. So that's why very many just my father is a Oberlander, Hungarian Jews. The Hungarian Jews, they ate at night the milchig meal, because even though ain't simcha b'busar, but the Shiurim say that's only by day. The chiv to eat b'busar is only by day. So my minig, I still do it. I like milchigs. I eat at night milchigs. Almost all the Hungarian Jews do that.
That's a modern Orthodox thing. So now
They got it from the Hungarians.
Yes.
that's good to know.
Is there a category of like a sausage
Shabbos, like, they might normally keep Shabbos, but you know, 1 or 2 days they just let go, right?
Well,
Consider them not Shomer Shabbos.
but it depends what they let go. If they just drive in Shabbos, it depends what they just let go. I have a guy tells me his parents claim, his mother says, it's enough that I'm Shomer Shabbos, I close the business. Yeah, you don't, I can't drive, can't shopping, you can't open the TV. It's enough, we close the business. You know, if a guy drives Shabbos, that's not the Shomer Shabbos.
No, for example, if he,
It depends, yeah, it depends. If it's not a Machal Shabbos V'Feresia, it just does something, you know, the guy, you know, he has to be, someone, you know,
You don't know. What do you
Yid has a cheskes kashrus. If you don't know that he has a cheskes, if he was from till now, he has a cheskes kashrus. But if you know, he does things. You know, I had someone in my shul many years ago. People told me the television works. So I was trying to figure out how can I go to his house and surprise him. And his son broke his leg. I decided Friday night I'm going to visit him. So I knock on the door, and the football game is blasting away. One of the games. He says, no, he tells me he leaves it on. You know, he's a big football. You know, but the people say this, put it on. But you know, he was a Shomer Shabbos in every way. It's not a Machal Shabbos or Feresia. Even let's say he does put it on. People did claim he puts it on. His neighbors claim, but he was the Feresia. He always kept Shabbos.
You know somebody does Shomer Shabbos and then they come to your house and say you wanted to help in your kitchen. Do you have to ask because you knew that they were at one point not Shomer Shabbos? Or could you assume now they are?
They were not Shomer Shabbos last week.
For sure they were not Shomer Shabbos last
Yes,
week.
they have to. You have to
ask.
find out. Yes.
You determine it. Okay.
I know this is a very sticky problem, and it's a huge problem.
I understand.
Well, that's a good question. But you know, most often I find they would say the truth to you. I had a guest by my table. I had a guest by my table, and he says, you know, that bottle of wine is not mavushal. He knew wine very well. I'm not touching it. I'm not a Lubavitch. I didn't invite him to be Vecholov him. I don't know how he got to my house. And I asked him.
Already open?
No, I opened it, and he says, I'm not going to touch the wine. You know, I'm not a Shomer Shabbos lately. I was like so shocked. He went to yeshivas.
But he can't even see it in your better, right?
We spoke about it. He asked me this question. I told you there's no such halacha. The seeing is only a kiddush, you know, and it's not through the birth thing. It's on.
Is Shomer about the big problem, or because there's a huge problem that I've seen in small communities where people eat dairy in the shop, and everything else they keep Shabbat completely and they keep kosher in their home completely, but dairy just they eat out. And a lot of small communities, and non-kosher restaurants. That's what I mean.
If a person eats out in a non-kosher restaurant, you can't trust them.
Okay.
Can't trust the kashrus.
Even if they're Shomer Shabbos.
Even in a Shomer
It's
Shabbos.
to help you
That's what it's
in your
like
kitchen,
vegan
even if they keep their.
Yeah, well, yeah, you
They go to
can't.
Dr. Yomi and all that. I mean,
Someone told me. Someone recently told me. He knows someone who comes to the Shiurim, davos in the shul. He goes out and he goes at night. He does for business. He eats in the tray for restaurant. And you know, I said to him, "Does his wife eat those, or just he eats?" His wife is from him. So then you can trust the kashrus. The guy told me.
So the woman is Shomer Shabbos, or Shomer Kashrus, whatever.
She is really from. I have this more than once. She is really from. Then you're not relying on the husband. Who runs the kitchen?
Depends on which
No,
house.
there's
Yeah,
a lot
most
of men
often.
that-
Yeah, but most often. Okay, it's true, but most often. In this case, what I was referring, he told me it's my sister-in-law. She runs the kitchen. But if it's true, like you're saying, you know, people have told me there are people who, for some odd reason, that you can't trust the kashrus because a person who doesn't eat kosher, it's a gemara you just had recently, daf yomi. If a person doesn't eat kosher, by him he's it's nothing by him. Big deal. So it's not gonna.
How far do we have to go with it? Someone eating out, someone eats just salad, or goes to just vegan restaurants. Okay, look at that.
Yeah, well then it doesn't matter. He thinks that it's kosher.
Right.
That's a maratzis. You know, vegan restaurant, maybe it's kosher, who said it's not kosher?
Wine, they don't check the lettuce, I don't know anything.
Yeah, but that's a maratzis. That's not that he doesn't eat kosher. You know, he doesn't realize that you have to check the lettuce, doesn't realize
Now,
that.
Matzah still makes some pastelatus, or in this case, that we can't.
No, well, I mean, that's different. People don't know. People buy products they don't know.
No, these people don't know either. They the fish is fine.
No. I find most often they think that's not true. If he's b'shitta that way, then I wouldn't trust him.
That's what I'm talking about. The shit.
Yeah, there are people b'shitta. Some of these conservative people are that way.
The shit to the salad as well.
There are people for many years used to go to McDonald's and eat the fries. They thought they were
Then they found out there's
vegetable.
a
Then they found out that there was beef tallow in there.
Okay, let's move on. Okay. Zog the Mechava. What did you say? Zog the Mechava Beis. Ochel gewinner, if you eat cheese. Mitte le'echel achra busa meyad. You're allowed to eat meat immediately afterwards, after cheese. Vavad, sheyain yudov, you should look at his hand, shalishim dovar, ma gewinner from the cheese nigbebam. If you eat cheese, you want to eat meat afterwards, you have to make sure your hands are clean. And the minig, as later we learned, that even though you looked at your hands, the minig, the chayim will bring down, the minig was to wash your hands. And Baruch Hashem, we have plenty of water. You don't have to wash with the keli. Wash it doesn't have to be washed well off. That's the main thing. It doesn't have to be keli. But the minig is if you want to eat right away. And now many have a minig, which I'm not sure where it comes from. That if they wait an hour, they say you don't have to wash your hands. That's not true. I mean, your hands has to be washed. If you ate, just unless if you don't know 100% sure your hands are clean. See, that one big thing about us is we are very clean. Means most Jewish people. Most Jewish people are clean. I just had this Shabbos a guy who does managing apartments. How's it called? Real estate. Does enormous. He says he walks into an empty apartment. He could tell it was a Yid who lived there, from Yid, a Fry Yid. The cleanliness of it. The from Yid always much cleaner. The ovens are much cleaner and everything. It goes spirals downwards the less from you are. He tells me. Yeah, but it is true. I heard this. I remember in the 8th grade, I had a teacher, a Fry teacher, explained to us why in the Ma'anic plague the Jews survived it, because they were always used to being clean. Going to the mikveh, wash their hands. The Goyim don't have this. It's not part of their culture to be clean.
Today it is part of the culture.
No, it's not.
The average Goy today takes
No, it's not
shower
true.
every single
That is
day.
not true. A doctor told me it's not true. I asked as a doctor. He told me that he works in the emergency room. He works in Cedar Sinai. The big famous actors come in with infections clearly because they didn't wash themselves. Nothing, nothing. Just not being hygiene.
Really, they have to make signs and there's a light, but the signs in the bathrooms are remind employees to wash their hands before they go back to service.
The employees are not.
Yeah.
All right, no, mind you,
So anyways, you have to. What?
if you wait
So if you
5
eat
minutes or
cheese,
2 hours, you still have to wash your hands.
you have to wash your hands. So I'm trying to explain why the minig became now that way. My only answer to this minig is because today people are clean. I see right away, right after the meal. Even the young, once the children get at a certain age, they always wash their hands.
Now, if you're having bread at the next meal, that until you die would be considered washing your hands, right?
No, well, it has to be, depends, no. Because you have fatty, depends how fatty the cheese was. Cheese could be very fatty. So you can wash it, you still have fatty in the hands. That depends on the mitzvahs of the. I'm just saying the minig is, I notice that people don't, and my only answer to this minig is, because today I watch this all the time, people wash their hands right away. I just saw now, I had some of my grandchildren, I know that I was surprised, they finished eating, just quickly washed their hands. The older ones, the 14, the 13, the younger ones, no, but I watch, isn't that true? As soon as an average guy will wash his hands. Just a child even doesn't want to walk around. So that's the teretz. But anyways, halacha says you eat cheese, you can eat meat afterwards, but you have to wash your hands. And zug the mechaber, ashin shivshim above him, he belayla shen yuchalayin oisa hetiv tzurich l'rachtzon. You got to wash it. I mentioned that the minig is the Chayim say that even by day you should wash your hands. But tzurich lekanach piv, you got to. I say kanach in English, you have to...
You have to eat something sour.
No, the kanach means to wipe away. Means to wipe away, iladichoy, and to rinse it. How do you wipe it away? You have to chew bread. So if you ate cheese and you want to eat meat, the halacha is you got to eat something, bread in your mouth, and rinse your mouth with water or wine.
How about toothbrush?
What?
Does it have to be bread?
Well, it doesn't have to be bread.
brushing the teeth is kinoch and
Oh, yeah, that's both.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So it was chewing gum, right?
Let's just see.
If a piece of chewing gum, you spit it out, that was counted.
I don't think so.
Because it goes into all the cavities.
It does?
Like bread.
I don't know.
One second, you brush your teeth, you brush your teeth after you had it.
That's
Are you
it.
allowed to use it after a flesh meal and a toothbrush? You brush your teeth after a milk meal, you had some cheese, and you brush your teeth to clean out your mouth. And then you had a flesh meal and you want to brush your teeth again. Are you allowed to use a toothbrush or you're not allowed to use it?
Oh, the toothbrush you're allowed to use. Yeah, I'm not worried about
Stick
that.
cheese on it.
No, yeah.
That's the whole thing.
Yeah, but you wash off the toothbrush. Everyone normally washes it off, rinse it off. But he's saying that's true. But if you wash your teeth, if you don't want to eat bread or this, if you wash your teeth, with the toothpaste regular, you have both. You kniach hadocha. I mean, you have everything.
So doesn't have
We're talking about with no time period. We're not talking about any time.
Right? No time.
so it doesn't have to be bread.
So there's no Mechaber says no kniach shile pas. Yususi kana bepiv v'chein chol de v'shiyitza. Anything you could eat. Chitz mekimcha besides flour, tamra dates, yarkin vegetables. So you can eat anything, fruit. You can eat fish and it bukim doesn't help. That gets stuck. It doesn't clean it. The eimek kan chiyufe. V'achach yidich piv b'mayim b'yayin. You listen how Father Chazal v'machmer. You ate cheese. The only time you want to eat meat, you got to do all these things. Now this is very important because even though we have a minute to wait a little bit, some people you don't have to wait. Al pi halacha. If you want to eat meat, I mean, if you have anyone has the children, teenagers, this happens all the time. One of them nashed and they just ate cheese and okay, are we eating? I just ate cheese. I didn't know that the supper is ready. So al pi halacha, all they have to do is rinse them out and eat something in the middle and eat afterwards. Okay.
What about vice versa? What if someone has a milk meal and you have a chicken soup and you taste it by mistake?
He had a milk meal, yeah.
You're cooking a milk meal, you can eat dinner, milk, and you have the chicken soup on the fire, you happen just to taste it.
So we're going to have this soon, maybe next week. Well, to answer your question, chicken soup, just the taste, doesn't, according to many poskim, don't make you fleishiks. So it's the soup is no meat. You just had a taste of the meat. So for that reason, if some by mistake, I've asked this question more than by mistake, a lady tastes and we're having a milching meal, you could be makel. We'll soon see why. Remember soon. Not a davka. No, I'm always happened. No. If you're not, we're machmer not to taste the ketchela and swallow it and then. But people have asked me this question, more than once. She tasted it, and it was supposed to be, she's preparing for Shabbos, and whatever the case situation is. Okay, we'll get to the next seif. Oh, let's wait till the next seif. No. Okay, so the mechaber v'achkach yidich piv b'mayim or behind med v'ramin busa behema the chaya, real meat. That means beef and chaya. Aval lebulecha busa of. You want to see chicken after cheese. Ain't it kniach? When I tell you, hear what the Mechaber says? The Mechaber has a kula which we Ashkenazim don't have, but the Sfardim have a kula which, if you want to eat chicken, you don't have to rinse your mouth. You don't have to do anything. Where did you get kula? That means you just ate some nice cheese. Want to eat a piece of chicken? No problem.
Why does he say this?
What?
Why does he say it?
It's based on the Gemara. That's a Rabbanan. Yes, it's based on the Gemara. The Gemara says Busa Behema.
Here we're very, very strict with the table, having the meat and the chicken the chicken and the milk on the same table, but then at the same time.
But this is, you're not eating it together. Just worried maybe something is in your mouth. That's a whole different sugya. So by chicken, we'll make them. The Chronim say that we Ashkenazim don't make ever difference between chicken and nut. Because people, all these coolers, and we soon see the Rambam says we don't know, but the Sfardim have this cooler.
Practically, the Sfardim also, they consider chicken as meat also, no?
I can't talk for the Sfardim.
There you're trying to be machmer, not to come eating together. Here, you're not worried about eating it together. Here, it's just saying that you're eating separately, but
right. A mistake. Yesh machmina. So the Remus is not that. Yesh machmina for the busarach gvina. Now, let me explain to you this machmirim. This is based on a zoyer, to wait 6 hours after cheese. So the Ramuk are coming to say afila babusar after gvina to wait 6 hours. Now, the minig was based on a zoyer, and I want to say something. The many hold that after chicken, the minig of zoyer was not. That means if you ate cheese, you don't have to wait 6 hours there. I don't want to get you confused all the shittas in the remote. I want to just say the bottom line is, the minig is only hard aged cheese do we wait 6 hours.
And that's a chumrah?
And that's a chumrah. It's a chumrah, a big chumrah from the Ashkenazim. A huge chumrah. And I want to say a kula, but I'm not, I only say on my kula when it's a gay mass. You know, once upon a time, there was no fridge. You ever take cheese and not put it into the fridge? You know what happens to cheese? It becomes very hard. This is what they ate. They didn't have soft aged cheese. You know, you ever notice that you buy cheese and you leave it out for an hour, try to get your children to eat it afterwards. You know, if you have children, it dries up, they're not interested. Cheese, if you don't keep it in the fridge, dries up and becomes hard. The Mishnah says in Masechta Shabbos, a person is allowed to take a saw on Shabbos. What is he taking a saw to cut cheese? A saw to cut cheese. It's a Mishnah. So you see, the cheese was very hard, so that was like meat. Our cheeses are very, very soft. And the only thing is, the aged cheese has the chumrah maybe because it has a long-lasting taste. See, there's two reasons why. One, it gets stuck in the mouth, or it has a very long-lasting taste of meat. You know that cheese, aged cheese, has a very long-lasting taste. I hate to be, so, how you say in English, but when you burp, for hours later, you feel the taste, and where's the meat? So that, I tell people, if it's an aged, sharp cheese, you should wait 6 hours. But after chicken, you want to be makel, it's hard to be makel.
Now there's fake aged cheese. The taste is there, but it's not really aged.
But it doesn't, I know I've tasted it, it's not as good. It's not. No, it really is not.
One second, Rabbi, just to clarify, if I eat hard cheese, and I want to eat meat afterwards, I should wait 6 hours.
Me'ikra din, you don't have to. It's a chumrah we Ashkenazim hold.
But if I want to eat chicken afterwards...
The are who are makel. The are who are makel.
Okay.
And practically speaking... Yeah, the aged cheese.
Any Parmesan cheese is hard cheese. Rabbi, my wife makes fettuccine Alfredo. The cheese that goes into it.
It's not aged Alfredo.
Parmesan. She buys the real one from Western Bosor. It's $30 for a little triangle. It's very expensive. It's real. This is aged from Italy. Yeah. It's the real Parmesan cheese. You have to grate it, and you feel it, it's hard. Yeah. So
she puts it into what?
Cook it into your pasta.
Yeah, okay, but it's not pieces, it's melted, right?
Yeah. You cook it into a sauce.
Well, again, the Rishonim talked about it, they would eat it. No. But a minig is, I don't know Chabad what the minig in the Welt is, on aged cheese, they are machmet to wait 6 hours.
Well, with the melted part.
Just saying, it's a chumrah.
Meaning, if you make it soft, does it mean like it's no longer considered a hard cheese?
I'm saying that the makar of it is because it's hard and has a long-lasting taste. Today, even the aged cheese, what your wife buys is aged cheese, she cooks it and it dissolves.
Yes.
So it's soft. So you really don't have the chumrah, but the minig is still to wait on the aged cheese 6 hours. Even if it's cooked.
The minute seems like it should apply to the type of cheese as opposed to how it's prepared. If I happen to have aged cheese that's very soft.
Yeah, but I'm saying right.
Or not, or American cheese.
Right.
It's very hard to want to eat it.
Right. So you're right. You're 100% right. All I'm trying to say is that the minig was originally before fridge was introduced. It was hard and long-lasting taste. Today we don't have it hard. Finished. Your wife couldn't serve you hard cheese. No one would eat it. She cooks it. It softens up. We wouldn't. That's how we are. So I'm saying. So Mela, it's if a guy has a tzorich, he wants to eat chicken, doesn't want to wait 6 hours. It's not the end of the world.
But the taste still applies even if it's from a
I'm saying, but the chumrah was both together.
So if one drops, therefore,
The meaning is still on. The whole world is machmer. The entire world.
no matter what.
When I learned this 20 years ago, I gave people the older generation the heart, and almost the whole world, even though theoretical speaking. You grew up, you didn't have HGs, you didn't wait 6 hours?
We didn't have that kind of money.
What did you say?
I never had HGs.
Today, Ha'olam makes, I told you about a few months ago, I'm not sure you forgot to look into it, but Ha'olam makes for $5, and it's probably fake, but it says on the cover, aged for 10 months, but it's $5. I don't know how they could afford to do that. It's Parmesan cheese, and it says on the big label, aged for 10 months. So automatically, I assume it has to be 6 hours. But then at the same time, you're saying it's usually be more expensive cheese. It's $5 for like a shaker. It looks like this big.
I don't think that's it.
I don't think that's age, that's
It
fake.
says on it says it on the label.
Yeah,
Well,
no.
The label is aged.
No, that's the cheap stuff.
That's
Yeah,
it.
but it says aged. and the only
Yeah,
thing
that's
is-
how.
It does say age.
Is
Rabbi,
it a lie? I mean,
the Balatristus, he would say this same thing by this.
Well, this chumrah comes from the Maram Rottenberg. Maram Rottenberg was the Rebbe of the Rosh. And he was the one who started this chumrah, waiting after cheese. And the story was that Maram Rottenberg noticed, the ones by himself, that he ate cheese, and he came to eat me later and noticed that a piece of cheese was in his mouth. Yeah, that's what that's how the whole minhag started, from the Balatristus.
But if the Balatristus says that meat, if I had a piece of steak, I can wait an hour and have cheese.
Yeah, this doesn't apply. You're right. That's what you say. I understand. That for sure. That is for sure. This chumrah is based on the first chumrah. For sure. You're right. Yeah. Yes. That's true. That's for true. Yeah, it's for true.
Yeah, but it's changed with the remote one that's right?
Yes, because the more wants, we should be machmer. That's what the Shach says. The more wanted, and that's why the minhag became that way. Things changed by the Ashkenazim. Because me'ikra din, the Rabbi Shiurim hold that way, and they held it was just a big kula. We Ashkenazim did. In history, many things do change. To the better, sometimes to the worse. I mean, in Halacha, we find this many things that way. Okay, there's times of the Maral. The times of Maral, no one was makbid in Yain Esau. Can you imagine such a thing? Yain Stam. The Maral and the Levush and all those generations had to scream, and slowly that minhag disappeared. They were madam makbid, not makbid. Goy touches the wine. For some reason, the hell, it's not a problem. There was always interesting minhagim that I'm afraid to say another minhag which the Rabbi Yoni brings down in his times and changed. They didn't make shalashudas. The Rabbi Yoni screams, and most places they still make shalashudas. Just saying, there were things that as this history goes, there were. Unfortunately, there was, things were better and worse, but that's, we are unfortunate. We get very quickly influenced with our surroundings in the halacha. It's always that way.
Is any of this, all these things that we're talking about after cheese, is there any sort of distinction between cheese versus milk?
Yeah,
theoretically,
after milk, no one holds you have to wait 6 hours. Yeah, there is one shit, but that's not accepted.
But in general, when you look at cheese versus milk, wouldn't you say that you should be stricter by milk because the deraisa has to do with cooking in milk, not cooking in
Yeah, but we're afraid. No, why do we need the time? Because the taste in your mouth. No. It's a taste. There's once in the milk in it. The taste. We are worried about the taste. You just ate a cheese, and now you're eating meat, and speak to the goyim. But Burger King is a booming business because it's cheese and meat. About Shuva told me, it tastes. He tells me it tastes very good.
There's no problem with the fake cheese. A lot of the restaurants I've seen cheeseburgers and kosher restaurants. They use the fake
Well, if it says it should say that it's fake. It
but
should
it
say.
has the taste. You said the taste is the issue.
I was told by people it's not.
It's still fake though.
Yeah, but it's not.
Even if it tastes perfect, it doesn't matter because it's fake. Why would they
Yeah. It's not a sign. It's not a sign.
The display on the menu.
Display in the menu is not a matter. Okay, v'yesh machmirim. Let's move on. Philip Busach giving a chein hagim shekol shegvini kusha hard cheese. Ein ochla chreyu. We don't need afterwards. A Philip Busar of even chicken after hard cheese kegvina achabusa. That's the minig that the Mus says, and this minig was a very, very accepted minig. I don't know. The Sfadim had this minig. You know, I have no idea. Okay, and it's based on a zoya. So he says, "V'yesh makilim, shav'ein nimchos." You can't be moicha the ones are makel. He says, "Rak shiyasi kinich v'adu anetilasidayim." They should wash their hands and rinse it. They should make the lasidaim toiv lahachmer. It's a good idea to be machmer. The Remu wanted to be machmer, and all these things. So again, let me just say the bottom line. The bottom line is, if you have most people don't have hard cheese. But if you eat hard cheese, you should. And if it's not hard cheese, it's aged cheese, you should wait 6 hours. And it has to be this aged cheese that has a long-lasting taste. No. Yeah, I only said that, but the minig is, I'm telling the minig, most people are knowing that way. Wait 6 hours.
I know we don't do this, but I heard that after pizza, even some people hold wait 6 hours.
Yeah, but it's cheap cheese. I heard this from a few people. I called a pizza shop many years ago, and he said, "What are you kidding me? I'm going to use expensive cheese."
Is it a matter of cost?
Some pizza shops, I think I know what you're talking about. Some pizza shops will offer this cheese Parmesan I'm telling you about. It's cheap, but it says aged building. No, they offer it on the shaker on the side. You can ask the pizza shop, you have Parmesan to put on. It's cheap, but it says aged 10 months.
Is there a cheaper?
Mozzarella cheese.
They're not putting out the cheese Parmesan.
There's something.
Yeah,
They offer it sometimes.
you said before that the milk and meat in close proximity is not a recommended thing by the Zohar as opposed to the Halacha. Okay, because there's some kind of I don't know. I feel very sensitive to when I eat milk and meat close together, even if it's because it's just like you would never eat them together. But I mean, if you're just waiting 5 minutes, there's a kind of like this feeling of.
Well, the Zohar does say, because according to the Zohar, you should not eat it in 1 hour. That's why in many places after milchiks, they wait an hour, half hour, because the Zohar says 1 hour.
That's even if it's diluted.
Wait,
That's where the hour thing
Like
comes
even
from.
coffee.
from the Zohar.
Even a coffee should be an
No,
hour.
it's hard to say coffee. You have to. It's very hard to say. You have to. It's very hard to say drink a coffee. You have to wait an hour. It's a big. That's a, first of all, about chicken, you really don't have to wait an hour.
With a coffee.
The Pri Chodesh and the Pri Toya both say that the hour of the Zohar is only by meat, not by chicken. So that's a big kula, what I just said, a big secret.
It's like Sino with the fish thing.
By hard cheese also?
What do you say?
By hard cheese?
No. There's a Zohar that says not to eat it in 1 hour. So the minig is to wait an hour after milchiks. Many people have them in an hour. But the Zohar, the Pri Chodesh, the Pri Toya was one of the greatest Balam Mikibolam, the Pri Toya. Pri Toya was the Arachaim HaKodesh, we Chassidim like to call him. And he writes very clearly, the Zohar only mentioned meat, not chicken.
But versus the fish and milk, it means obviously just regular milk, right?
Fish and milk, there's nothing wrong with fish and milk.
No, I say milk because of the coffee thing. So we don't eat fish and milk together, right? Fish and milk.
You don't eat cream cheese and,
Milk like milk.
we spoke about it.
Because the coffee plus, the only machma and dafka with the
Oh.
plus.
Okay, let's move on to Beisai. Siv Gimel, let's start at least Siv Gimel. Now, till now, the Beisai, we talked about eating meat, and eating milk, cheese. Now we're going to talk what happens chicken soup. His question: what is chicken soup without chicken? I have I always say over when I teach Chassidus, I always tell over the proof that you have to be warm in Yiddishkeit. I always say, try to imagine the most delicious chicken soup if it's cold. If it's hot, that's geschmack. So Yiddishkeit, if it's cold, there's no taste. No taste. It's called chicken soup. It's got to be hot. But anyway, so the question is, chicken, the soup, it doesn't have, you're not eating meat when you're eating the chicken soup. You have just, it's a taste of, so this is the question. Uchel tafshil shel bosor. Now, a tafshil means you didn't, it's very important. It's not like what wife makes, makes the cheese into the lokshen, how you say, in the pasta. We're talking about there is no cheese. That means there's just a taste. You got to get a caterer to explain. There's the taste of cheese. Or chicken soup. Chicken soup, you took out all the chicken, all you have is the taste. You don't have chicken there.
You do this fat.
Yeah.
Well, everything has but that's, but that doesn't go away, but that's just the taste. Fat swims to the top.
Physically from the chicken, and you're physically eating.
Right, but if you take off the fat, like,
No, but there's always no piece of chicken in there.
there's no pieces of chicken in there. It's not,
Chicken in a pot, they filtered it.
there's no chicken.
The whole flavor only comes from the
So,
chicken.
and that's what I'm saying. That's the chiddush. Since you're not eating the chicken itself, you're just eating something that was cooked, the chicken in. This is the cool of what the Gemara is saying. That's exactly. That if you have pieces of chicken inside, or if you have pieces of cheese in the lokshen, that's not good. If you just have it, one of the ingredients is. I know one of my daughters makes something, and I forgot she told me that one of the ingredients is cheese, but it turns into a mush. That is just, you don't have the cheese. It's a taste now. So you don't have betzias of a. So he's saying, Uchol tafshe shel bosor. If you ate a tafshel of the bosor. V'telech ache tafshe shel gevinna. So the Gemara says you're allowed to. We're going to soon see the minig. This is just the Gemara. The minig is that we're machmer. And the reason why we have to know what the minig is, because again, if there's a tzoyrech, like he just said, if a woman tasted the chicken soup by mistake, then that's just a chumrah. So we have to know what the Gemara says, and we have to know what the loch is. According to the Gemara, you ate tafshe mitalecha achrav tafshe shegevina. According to the Mechaber, the first shit is mamish. I ate chicken soup. I could eat afterwards cheese. He says, not only chicken soup, meat soup. I don't know how you make meat soup, whatever it's called.
Technically,
What? Mittel achrav tafshe gewinner, or well, susi was even more make was susi. Right. The Mechaber says tafshe when susi later in the Shulchan. What did you say?
But that would even mean if you have a little bit of chunk, as long as you have the flesh itself, and that's
Right. That's another good mashal. Very good mashal. A very, very good mashal. This question I'm going to ask often, but he just asks, people eat cholent, and I didn't eat any meat.
How does he know what such stick meat is like?
No, you could tell. No, you could tell. You could tell. You could be careful. I watched it. You could be careful.
Sephardi cholent's different. Yeah.
Anyways, but the bottom line is he could be careful. After we can, the minig is that you ate cholent and it was meat. We wait 6 hours. That's the minig. But halacha l'maisa, it doesn't become fleshiks. So if it's a tzorech or like whatever with susi, I'm not gonna have time to finish the whole thing. But I want to explain. There's halacha and there's the minig. The minig going machmer. But you have to remember the minig. Once it's only a minig, so if you find ways out, you import not ways. When it's important, it's a tzorech, whatever the situation is.
Why are you saying only the taste? It's called tafshil.
That's what it means. The Chachamim says, no. The Chachamim say does not mean that you're having pieces of meat inside. I know that. When you learn the Gesugi, I remember the first time I was young, I thought what tafsha means cut pieces out. Right. They all say no. And all the Chachamim say that's meat eating meat, just because it's there's lakshan also. Tafsha means the taste.
How far do we go with that minute? If you have an oven where you have a roast cooking that's uncovered next to a potato kugel that's cooking the same oven at the same time and it's not created, you eat that potato kugel.
Everyone agrees you don't become fleshiks.
That's not fleshiks. So
You can't eat the potato kugel with milk. You can't eat the potato kugel with milk, but you don't become fleshiks.
And what if
That's important. This question ever. Now, let me explain this. We just have a few minutes, so let me expand on what he's asking. This question I'm asked all the time. I should get myself a text. I got myself finally an iPhone. One of my people in my shul is teaching me to have certain questions. All I have to do is, and this is one of the most common questions. I made challah in the oven together with the meat, or like he just asked. You made chicken, and at the same time, chicken was the potato kugel. So we don't eat the potato kugel together with. You can't put sour cream on the potato kugel, but you don't become fleshiks. That's only reiche milsa. You know what I'm saying? That's you don't. We're gonna even worse. We'll be a bigger coolest we're gonna learn later. That means to become fleshig, it has to be mamish. You put into the potato kegel a good geschmack of meat taste.
What's that the same time? Let's say you bake cookies in a flesh oven.
So I hold it. If you there's no zay. If you have a good oven, there is no zay. You're allowed to even do it like a tchillah.
You have with milk?
Yes.
So you got coffee with coffee and milk? If there was nothing else?
Yeah. If there was nothing else, a good oven, there's no zay. Yes.
What is
This
good
is
oven mean?
assuming it's a fire table.
Zay means there's no. I say vapor. You look in your oven. If you have a good oven, and after you cook, you notice there's never vapor. There's no water there. It's never
Yeah, but the glass gets fogged up. It's not vapor.
a good. Not then you have a. No, you don't have a good one.
My oven, the
Uh,
oil gets fogged up.
It gets fogged up. You don't have a good oven.
Rabbi, does it matter if the daily is fleshig?
No, we're gonna later. Even a kid is fleshy. You don't become fleshy.
The potato's fleshig and then cooked potato kugel is.
Let me tell you even a bigger chiddush. I imagine your wife is very clean, but imtim tzalema. She didn't want to wash out the bowl. You know, you make the potato kegel and a thing. And it's not didn't want to make it flaky. She didn't wash it out well. You know, in a hurry, you put in potatoes. Since you did not want the potato kegel to have a fleshig taste, you just laziness, whatever reason, you don't become flashigs afterwards. The Shach says.
In a fleshig pan, but it's a completely part of the matter. It's not fleshig. You just can't eat it with meat.
If you cook in a what?
In a fleshig pan, a fleshig pot. But
If it's ein ben yomer, is it a ben yomer?
No, ben yomer.
Ben yomer is a not benat. So not benat, ikar alocha, ikar alocha, benat, you're allowed to put a sour cream on it. Ikar alocha. We have a chumrah that if you know ahead of time you're going to do it, you shouldn't do it like a tchela, you know, put sour cream.
I have to get this flavor. Pasta. If I cook plain pasta in a fleshig pot, it's part.
If it's not benat, it's a ben yomer, ain't a ben yomer. Is a big machlekes zwischen the Chachmas Udam and the Vilna Gaon. The Vilna Gaon says you're allowed to do it. The Chachmas Udam says you shouldn't do it. I don't know how Chabad paskins.
We don't do it then.
No, it's Chila ben yomer, a ben yomer.
Yeah, ben yomer.
So any ben yomer must.
Even ben yomer, that's for sure not a problem.
I don't know. It's a machlekes. If it's shown out upon once it's done. If you know, we spoke about this once before. If you know ahead of time that one of you, if you know mamish ahead of time, one of we spoke about it. If you know ahead of time that one of your children, your wife is making potatoes, you know for sure ahead of time, this daughter of mine is going to put Lebanon. I had a kufa, one of my daughters today, she's a mother of 5 children. But you know, the kufa, she was a teenager, you know, Lebanon had to be on her potatoes, okay? So that's the ketchelah. You make it. No, yeah, but the question is, the ketchelah. There's a big machlekes.
Isn't the pot better than the oven?
The Sfardim don't have this chumrah at all.
Pot, no problem.
B'chlal, they don't hold of this chumrah.
That's what I'm asking you, because the pot I know is less emission than the oven.
Right.
So, but when you're saying out the cookies, like coffee.
Yeah, you Sfardim b'chlal don't have the problem.
So then why do we have 2 sets? 2 sets of pot.
2 ovens, you mean?
No, 2 sets of pot.
Because you're afraid by mistake you're going to cook. Of course you have 2 sets. I mean, you need milchiks and fleishiks. Certainly you can't cook milchiks and fleishiks. Maybe why?
What's that? If I have a pot, it's anything yet. I don't
You can't cook, but we're talking about cooking. You can't cook milchiks and fleishik. You're talking about making a kugel. You know, problem. You know, but truthfully, we'll go over this the whole week. I half baked over here. We have to get it fully baked next week. Okay.
All the modern poskim hold that there's no zayah.
There's no, it's a Messias. You have, what type of oven? You have a good oven? You have a good oven?
I have a good oven.
Take a look. Your wife cooks. Take a look inside the oven. When it cooks, if they say it. Take a
Can we speak about it? Modern posting?
You use, like for schnitzel, you use the oil, and then you use French fries in them. Do the French fries make you flay shit? You eat them?
If you want it, yes, because I was told you want the taste of the.
No, you don't want. You just want normal French fries. Like in yeshiva, I might only take the French fries, but I know sometimes they also put that chicken. It might have been a different day. So they save that oil for a month or two.
It's not to give it taste.
No, not to taste. And the other question is, it doesn't have to do with this. A woman holding a saber Torah. I heard that there's like some shows that instead of the man going into the women's section to see them kiss the saber Torah, the woman takes the turn and walks into the women's section. Is there a halachic problem with that? So they're allowed to do that?
You should do it. It's not a look at that.
Okay, so if you go to shul,
shul.
okay, so if you go to shul and they do that,
There's nothing wrong.
there's nothing
You
wrong.
have a normal kosher mechitza.
Yeah, and how is it like 5 feet the normal? I heard shoulder length is like the shortest allowed.
No, the trick is you shouldn't see the ladies.
I know, but like the lowest opinion is shoulder length. And what if like the thing is like off see through? Like it blocks, like you can't really see through, but it's not. You can't clearly see a woman, but you could see to the other side.
Well, is it a distraction?
Yeah, it's like something like that, or a little more.